First question. See, every question we'll try to eliminate and see if we can get the answer. Consider the following statements about earthquake waves. Rayleigh waves and love waves are both surface waves. Surface waves cause the most damage to structures. So, can you eliminate in some way? This is very factual actually. Okay, I thought I'll give you some inputs on each topic so that you will know what other topics you have to see. Okay, so in this topic, seismic waves, there may be questions on the basic differences between each of these waves. They can ask you a question about arrival, which wave arrives faster, which wave has the most amplitude. Headline questions are there. Okay, so and there can also be questions on the basic differences between each of these waves. Okay, so any types on it? The main distinction is there are two types of waves: surface and body waves. So within body waves, how many waves are there? P and S. So what is the basic difference between P and S? Why P can propagate in any medium? Say longitudinal. So it's a compressional wave. So it can pass through any medium. The other one is transverse motion. Sine wave lo untadi. Transverse. Okay. So in liquids it can't pass through. Which is that? S waves. Okay. So what about the other one? Surface waves. So how are they different? Surface waves. Once the body waves reach the surface waves gets generated. Okay. So they come the last. Okay. Within surface wave there are two types. Okay. Are types enti? Rayleigh and love waves. Okay. Now when you compare body waves and surface waves are the most destructive. That is rule number one. They arrive late, but they are most destructive. And why they are most destructive? One, their amplitude is higher. Okay. And two, the wave motion is different. Okay. See, here it is clearly given the Rayleigh wave, the one you see here. See, the wave motion, this is like elastic, to and fro. It moves to and fro. This one, top and down. This one, it is shown like this. Why it is shown like this? Because it's a combination of both of these. It will move up and down and it will also move forward and backward. So it will kind of ellipse will be formed. A particle traces an elliptical path. But this one, it actually moves like a snake. Snake, palm veltadi kada, atla veltadi. So it causes the greatest damage to structures. Okay, a structure can take this moment, but it cannot take this moment. Okay, so love waves cause the greatest damage. Next, he'll ask you questions on the shadow zones. Okay, like you were saying, there is a much bigger shadow zone for S waves because it can't pass through the core. Core of core or core? Earth's core, which is solid, which is liquid. Is the whole core solid? Inner core is solid. Outer core is liquid. There are reasons for that. There was a pre-question on that as well. You have to know that, the reason. And then, so the inner core it can pass, but the outer core shields it. So the total core is no-go area for S waves. So there can be questions on this and the angles 145, 105. So this is one question area. Then this is very simple question. Long time back there used to be question like this as well. You don't know clearly which is epicenter and which is focus. Okay, focus is the one where the actual, actual fault collision happens. Okay. Then there is a question on scales. So Mercalli and Richard, what is the difference? Mercalli and Richard?
One is for magnitude and one is for intensity.
How do they calculate the magnitude? They use that seismograph.
Scale value is also different, sir. One is 0 to 10, I guess, one is 1 to 12.
1 to 12, yeah. What do they measure in Richter scale?
Magnitude.
This one, Mercalli? Intensity, how do they measure? So, there is no scale or anything. Okay, they just look at the visual damage. And the damage ayindi and then batti highest to lowest damage untadi. Okay. So, in Richter scale, there is a 10-point scale, 2 to 10. Okay. And with each point there will be, it's a log scale. Okay. 10 times damage perigite oka point perugutadi. Okay. So, that is one point. So, these can be the questions. Here it is from 1 to 12, Mercalli. Okay. It is based on observation. Then there can be question on seismic zones. In India, what are the major seismic zones that you have to know? And since this is not a new phenomena, he will then go deeper and ask you about cities. I think in the last, Delhi is in
Part of zone 5 or
Zone 4. Zone 4. I have given a question last time on the cities. There can be a different question now, not just based on zones or states. There can be also cities. Okay, that also you have to take a look. Then there can be question on world seismic hazard zones. These are world seismic hazard zones. See, since there is world geography as well, he can ask you what are the hazard zones. You may sometimes think there is no seismic active zone in particular country, for example like Iran, Turkey, places like this, because when you look at the Pacific Rim, okay, mostly you will guess, okay, and wherever there is oceanic plate collisions and all, mostly you will guess where the plate is major plate, but there are areas which are highly earthquake prone, but you very unknown because of the minor plate zone. Okay. See, look at this. Japan. Why is Japan seismically so active? Because it comes under almost actively under 3 plates, and if you consider the other plate also, Pacific plate also, it will be 4 plates. Okay. So in the previous diagram you have seen that there you have this West Asia, Iran, Turkey, in west of West Asia you have Turkey and all. These are also active seismic zones. You can just look at the West Asia belt, okay, particularly Iran and all. There is Arabian plate, Anatolian plate, and again Eurasian plate, and this all is in collision zone. Okay, so you have a high chances of earthquakes. Okay, so this is just one area, and based on this, like if you have a question like this, you have to do your homework like this.